Hello and welcome to day one of the 4-day Marketing Masterclass. I'm super excited you're here. Now, I don't know where you are in your business, but I do know that a lot of very talented photographers really struggle with marketing themselves. And as a result, I've seen a lot of really talented people end up leaving the industry, giving up on their dreams, giving up on their calling, not because they're not talented artists, but because they just don't know how to market themselves, how to put themselves out there. I personally think that is a shame. And that is why I'm so excited that you're here. I'm so thrilled that you have signed up for this week so that we can really dive into learning more about this very important skill. So, today we're going to start by talking about how to identify where to focus your marketing efforts. But before we do that, I do want to just quickly introduce myself and tell you a little bit about why I'm so passionate about teaching other photographers how to market their business. So I'm Sandra Cohn. If we haven't met before, hello, it's a pleasure to meet you. I'm an industry educator, I'm a best-selling author, and an award-winning photographer based in Seattle, Washington. I've been teaching and mentoring other photographers for well over a decade and helping other photographers solve problems in their business so that they can actually start making good money from their craft is a huge passion of mine. So again, I'm just so excited you're here. Now, I started my business back in 1999 like a lot of photographers do, sort of by accident. I was a kindergarten teacher at the time and was just struggling to get by on my teacher salary. I love photography and it was a huge hobby of mine, but it wasn't something that I next necessarily thought could be a job, or a career. But around that same time, I took this photo of my friend Ginger, who was pregnant with her first child, and she loved it. And she was the one who actually suggested that I start doing photography on the side as a way to supplement my income. So I was like, oh, yeah, that's a good idea. So I did. I turned this photo into a small postcard, put my name and my phone number on it, and put it all over town. Every maternity store, every baby shop I could find, I put my card there. And to my surprise, women started to call. Within about 3 years of taking this photo, I ended up quitting my teaching job and I became a full-time photographer. That's what I've been doing ever since. That, of course, is the highlight reel. I would love to tell you that it was just smooth sailing from day one, but sadly, it was not. The problem was I love photography and I was good at it. I thought I was good at it, but I didn't know the first thing about how to run a business or how to market myself. And as a result, I really struggled to find clients. I thought that being a talented photographer was all I needed to be successful and quickly learned that I was wrong. Again, because I didn't know how to market myself, I didn't know how to find clients, and because I was struggling to find clients, I wasn't making the money that I needed to help support my family. And so pretty quickly I was like, okay, I've got to fix this problem if I'm really going to make this work in the long haul, right? And so I got to work. I'm like, okay, what's the problem? And I initially thought the problem was that I was priced too high. I was like, okay, if I'm not getting the kind of clients, the amount of clients I need, I must be off the mark with my pricing. And so I lowered my pricing, thinking that, the reason I wasn't getting clients was because I was just way out of everybody's league. Well, guess what? That was not the problem. Even at that lower price point, I was still struggling to find clients. So then I thought, okay, well, if it's not pricing, if it's not about being priced too high, then I thought, well, maybe it's a problem with my work. And honestly, I was kind of right. But instead of really taking a hard look at the work I was producing and then more importantly, how I was presenting it, like what I was putting in my portfolio, where I was sharing it. Instead, I started looking around at what other people were doing. And I thought, well, maybe if I tried to be more like them, if I did what the popular, quote unquote, popular photographers were doing, then I would be popular too. I chased trends. I did all the things that I thought everybody wanted me to do. And I would take any work that came my way. So I would photograph your wedding and your house and your baby and your dog, or your headshot, like literally anything. As long as I was being paid, I would say yes to it. I did like all the things I thought I should do based on what other people were doing. And really, all that ended up doing was burning me out. I was super frustrated and full of self doubt. Like the imposter syndrome was real. And worst part was, I still wasn't booking enough clients. I still was not making the money that I needed to make to actually be doing this as a full-time job. So it got to the point I really tried for several years, and it got to the point in 2007 where I was like, okay, I guess I'm just not cut out for this. I'm going to quit. But the problem was I had had my twins in 2006, and I really didn't want to leave them and go back to teaching elementary school. Elementary school, you guys, is hard. Teaching kindergarten is hard, and I wanted to be home with my babies. And so in order for me to do that, I knew that I had to make my business work. So instead of quitting, I decided to get curious. And I asked myself like some pretty hard questions. I was like, okay, if it's not about my pricing, if it's not about following the trends or doing the kind of work that is, quote unquote popular at the moment, if it's not about showing people that I can do all the things, I'll take any work as long as you pay me. What do I need to do? What is it? How do I stand out? What do I need to do to connect to the kind of clients that I want to work with so that I can actually start making the money I need to make in my business? And that question led me to doing a lot of studying. I started actively studying business and branding and marketing and sales. And I went outside of the photography industry to do this. And for me, that was really important. I didn't want to learn how just to price an 8 by 10 or do an in-person sales session. I wanted to learn business, marketing, sales foundations. And so I went outside the industry, I learned those things, and then I took what I learned back into my business and I created a marketing system that honestly I still use to this day. So this is the marketing system that helped me grow my business to that initial first six figures and then to multiple six figures, all while being a stay-at-home mom to my twins and through the Great Recession of 2008. The truth is, I did the majority of growing my business, really scaling my business during those recession years. So I wanted to point that out today because I know there's a lot of concern right now about, a recession or what's going on with the economy. And I just want you to know that if you are worried about whether or not now is a good time to focus your attention on your business marketing, I'm going to tell you, yes, it is. I grew my business through 2008. I grew my business through the pandemic, and I helped hundreds of other photographers do the same during that time. So when things are a little rough, that is the time to really buckle down and work on your business. Okay. What you're going to learn today is exactly what I teach the photographers that I coach inside of my certification program as well. So that's what we're going to get into this week. And I am super excited. So to start, first of all, what is marketing? When we talk about work marketing, what do we mean? And I'm asking that question because a lot of people confuse marketing with sales, and marketing is not sales. They're two very different things. So, marketing is really honestly just a fancy word for communication. It is how we communicate what we do to the people we serve. And as photographers, we do that in two primary ways. We do that with our work and we do that with our words. And sometimes there is a problem with your work, but I just want to call out that if you find that there's a problem with the work side of your marketing strategy, most of the time I'm not talking about your technical abilities or the quality of your photographs. Most of the time, if there is a problem with the work part of your marketing strategy, it has more to do with the how you're showcasing it, how you're curating your portfolio, what you're showing it than it does your technical skills. Okay. I just want to say that right now. So, but you might have a problem with the work side of your marketing. I did certainly at the very beginning. And your business is going to be talking to you all the time. It will send you very clear signs letting you know where you need to make improvements. If the work part of your marketing strategy needs a little help, then you're going to find that your clients are going to show up to their sessions with Pinterest boards full of other people's works or screenshots full of other people's work. If this is happening to you, this is a really good indicator that there's something off with the work side of your marketing strategy. If there's a problem with the work side of your marketing strategy, you're also probably attracting price shoppers. So people who try to talk you down or who kind of like want to haggle, want to try to negotiate with your pricing, that is a clear problem with your work. Now, if your clients are running the show, if you feel like they're kind of the creative directors, like they show up and they're like, this is what I want my photos to look like, and this is where I want them to be, and this is what I want us to do, and blah, blah, blah. That's a work problem. And if you get nervous before sending out your galleries, that's also a pretty good indicator that there's something off with the work side of your marketing strategy. Now, when the work part of your marketing strategy is strong, all of those problems go away. And instead, what you're going to find is that your clients are booking you because they love your work. They are seeking you out because they want that special thing that you do. And trust me, that feels really good. You're also going to find that clients will happily pay your rate. And not only are they happily paying your rate, they're referring their friends. They're telling other people about you. You're going to feel in charge at every single session. You're going to know exactly what you want to create and exactly how to do it. And as a result, you get really excited to send out those galleries. Now, of course, the other way we communicate in our marketing is through our words. So the things that we say on our websites, on social media, in our newsletters, all of that communicates what we do to the people we serve in a different way. And if the words part of your marketing strategy needs a little help, again, there's going to be signs. First of all, you're going to find that you don't rank on search engines like Google. So if you're not showing up, either your website or a blog post or something for your business is not showing up on page one of search engines, there's a word problem in your marketing. If you find that you have really low engagement on social media, like you post and you get no likes or comments or very little likes or comments, that's a problem with the words part. If your clients are ghosting you, okay, you guys, if people reach out, if they send you emails or they call you and they inquire and then you never hear from them again, that is a big old red flag that you have a problem with the words part of your marketing strategy. And if you're attracting high maintenance clients, this is also a red flag. So pay attention to these things. Now, when the words part of your marketing strategy is strong, again, all those problems are going to go away. And you're going to find that your website or blog posts that you write are going to be ranking on page one of Google. And this is great. This is how people find you. And the more people can find you, the more your business is going to grow. You're also going to notice that you have really high engagement or higher engagement on your socials. People are going to consistently book you instead of ghost. So when people are calling you or they're emailing you, they're going to be calling you and emailing you to get on your books. They're not going to be calling and emailing you to ask you 1,000 questions and then just, you know, ghost, check out, peace out, and then you never hear from 'em again. That doesn't happen anymore when the words part of your marketing strategy is aligned. And what's even better is that you'll find that every single one of your clients feel like your ideal clients. Like you love them, they love you. It's just the best. Now, what I want to say is that if you are struggling with either or maybe even both of these marketing problems, it is probably because you're using an outdated marketing technique. And that's really common, and that's what we're going to go into in detail tomorrow. So in tomorrow's lesson, we're going to talk about traditional marketing versus modern marketing and how you can identify if that's your problem and then fix it, okay? But in the meantime, you need to ask yourself, do you need help with the work part of your marketing strategy or the words part of your marketing strategy? And really take some time to try to identify. Having clarity around this problem is the essential first step towards solving the problem. And once you can identify it, you're going to find that fixing it becomes really easy. So, this is Mandy. She's a photographer inside of the Sandercone certification program. And when she applied to the program, she came to me and said, "Hey, listen, I know that there's something going on in my photography business. I know I'm stuck. I know I could do better, but I don't know what it is." And so, we got on a call together and I went through these symptoms with her, just like I did with you. And we identified that she had a work problem and that she needed to, fine tune her lighting, fine tune some posing techniques. But more importantly, she needed to curate her portfolio so that it was showing her unique style, her unique point of view. So we worked together on that. And 1 year later, her work was completely transformed. So her portfolio is clear, it's consistent. She knows how to use her light. She feels confident in any situation. And And more importantly, she's building a name for herself now as like the go-to Fresh 48 photographer in in her area. She has exclusive contracts with several hospitals in her town. Her work is consistent and predictable. It's beautiful. Her portfolio reflects that and her business is growing. She's actually making money doing the kind of work that just lights her up that she wants to do. And you guys, she made that transformation in under a year, all because she was able to identify the root cause of her marketing problem and fix it. So, really spend some time tonight thinking about this. Do you have a work problem or do you have a words problem? And then let me know. I would love to hear from you. So, send me an email or you send me a DM on Instagram. You can find me at Sandra Cohn on Instagram and let me know what you think your problem is. I'm super curious. And then I will see you tomorrow where we're going to dive into traditional marketing versus modern marketing. All right.